Hey everybody, it's Bust with Bust Builds Decks number 41. Today, we'll be doing battle with our 3.5-star or so Darius up against Lissandra in the 5-star quest, the Frost Witch. And so, if you watched our previous video, we went up to battle with Aurelion Sol, made it to the very end, and fell just a little bit short. Hopefully we can reverse our fortunes with the Frost Witch today. And so, as far as Darius goes, if you didn't watch that previous video, I always believe that there's 3 pillars to every single Path of Champions deck. Number 1, you need some kind of scaling. Darius is already very good at scaling with this Nox and Might ability, so the first time you play an ally each round, it gets +4 attack and overwhelm. After that, you need a way to elusive, overwhelm, or rally. Darius, also super good at that. Carve a path, giving us a rally when we attack with 15 power of units, and the Nox and Might giving overwhelm. The last place, though, the removal spells Darius himself and Noxus are not very good at. And so we're going to have to look to try and course correct that as far as the deck building goes. Try and pick up some kind of unconditional interactivity, a Frostbite, a fast speed stun, a recall, vengeance, whatever, some way to interact with the unit inside of combat at fast or burst speed. Otherwise, the kind of unique deck building stuff with Darius himself. With this build, I'm going with the double Stalker's Blade today. I typically don't like playing a bunch of copies of Darius. Like, I don't want to put a bunch of items and stack a bunch of Dariuses into our deck just because he's so expensive, right? If you're in the early game, turn 2 and you've drawn 3 copies of Darius, you're not going to win that game. And so the way I approach Darius's deck building and all of this stuff is we play him in the late game if we have to, right? Ideally, we're not going to be playing Darius in any of these games. We just win it before that turn 6 moment gets here. But in the event that we do have to play Darius, I kind of flip-flop between the things I want. Do I want the Stalker's Blade, or do I want access to the Tempest Storm, or whatever it's called? The thing that on level up, you stun all of the enemies, the Tempest Blade. It has lots of useful applications with Darius. But I think we're just going to be going with the Stalker's Blade today. Now, this might be a bit of a mistake up in the Lissandra battles, as you do run into a lot of instances where your units come on board and immediately get frostbitten, and so the Stalker's Blade can come out and fail, but that's just something that we'll have to try and navigate, and trying to be a little bit more proactive than we get out of the Tempest Blade, and a little bit less reliant on the game going well, as you would typically get out of the Tempest Blade. And so, that is it. That is what we're doing battle with today. Where are you at, Lissandra? I'm ready to push the start adventure button. Off to the races we go. Okay. Hopefully we have a little bit of success. Find us a nice champion. Get some good items, you know. That's what everybody's here to see. And so, let's dive into the support champions. What do we got? Elder Dragon, cheap as it gets, right? That's exactly who we could be looking for. And I'm not entirely opposed to something like the Elder Dragon, right? We can't just put that 1 copy in and then Darius gets all the upgrades, but let's be real. That's like way too expensive for this battle. We're going to pass on it. I am actually okay with Bard. Bard is a fantastic champion to stack copies of, getting more and more boons in as we get the more copies of Bard into our deck. We get what looks to be a fairly unreliable removal in the anti-up Cosmic Binding. We'll just have to deal with that on our own, but I do like kicking things off with Bird as well. Just a very strong 1-drop for the early game plays, a nice stackable champion. I think this Bard is going to be just fine. Now, the last thing to kind of call out with Bard is our Nox and Might ability does work towards getting Bard leveled up. So we play a unit, it gets that +4 attack and overwhelm. That counts towards these increased stats to getting Bard leveled up. And so he should be turboing up, if you will, getting us those stats throughout the course of the game, which can be very important in the sense of having a flipped Bard on the board, all of our units being frostbitten, and then being able to gain stats in the middle of combat. And so we'll see if it comes up somewhere along the way. Happy to pick up a champion I like without having to burn any rerolls. And now let's move on from there. And so, not that great. I don't particularly like the Vanguard Lookouts or the Officer Backup, the Sting Officer in this style of deck. We tend to have enough stuff to just throw down early. And so I think I'm going to take a reroll, see if we can't find something that lets us either cheat at the game, like Mana Flow, or something that lets us have a little bit more build-around capacity. So what do we got? Interesting things here, maybe. Attack grow my power to match my health. I don't like that one. I like grow my health to match my power, especially with Nox and Might growing both stats essentially every turn. Spell burn, we're not going to play enough spells. Armed gearheads, we don't have a ton of created cards. It is worth noting that at our level, the Legion Grenadier does have the Spirit Stone, which can create a bunch of other cards, but that's a little off theme for what we're trying to pull off here. So with this, I think this is where I just want to stop. The Enfeebling Strike is just going to have to be fine. You know, we can maybe make something work out of this, maybe deal some damage in some creative ways, but I'm not really willing to roll anymore, and I'd like to save our rolls as we get down to this shop. So, gold chest in, good stuff. Into the shop, what do we got? In the first page, not things I'm particularly excited about. I'm not opposed to Legion Drummer. Picking up quick attacks in our deck can be kind of nice, and then there is the very mana efficient Vile Maw, right? A 6/6 or 7/7 in this case for 3 mana is a pretty good deal. We might circle back to that. Otherwise, for the items, what do we got? Stat bonuses on Darius. Not as excited for, but we can look to upgrade just the entire Bard package, right? Double attacking Bard is going to be fine, especially if he picks up Overwhelm off of the Nox and Might. Like, I can definitely get behind that. And then upgrading Bird a little bit is okay. Just playing a 3/2 + 4. Playing a 7/2 unit on the first turn of the game, not a bad deal. So let's add those in. I don't think we can buy Vile Maw for 35 gold. We cannot. I'm not going to roll and try and find more Loping Telescope kind of cards up here. And so let's move forward, see what we're up against. Any nodes that we're particularly excited for? Spells chest, item chest, and Boxtopus? Not really. I'd rather head towards the item chest. I think the middle path is okay. We can manage against the Draklorn Inquisitor as the game goes. Let's make sure this isn't a ridiculous battle, right? The foe nabs one and grants it a random item. I don't care about that. So let's do it. Let's battle the Troll Scavenger. See what's up. You all know what's up? This is how my day was today. I went to the gym this morning, and I don't know if you're familiar with how bad grease traps smell at restaurants. I'm not super familiar with it, but for whatever reason on the video algorithms, they decided that I like to watch people clean out septic tanks. Like, I don't know how it came up, but it's what my feed is full of. And they always mention how grease traps are, like, way worse than cleaning out septic tanks. And they were, like, cleaning out the grease trap at a restaurant when I was on the way to the gym today. It was fucking horrible. It smelled a block down the street. And then, like, as I went to the gym and came home, like, an hour and a half later, it still just fucking reeked throughout the entirety of the street. I was like, oh, this is good. This is a good way to kick off the day. Just smells like pure ass everywhere. And so hopefully we got that nastiness out of the way. We're ready to just roll through and have a good time from this point forward. Just pure ass. Ugh. Alright, though. Ass out of the way. Bard on board. See how scared the opponent is here. He's got all of our units out, so that must be a nice place to live. I was worried about our Bard dying to this Thorn of the Rose, but don't have to worry too much there. Now we should be able to start popping off. These bloody businesses are going to be on the cheap as our Bard double strikes. Definitely want to get another unit on board this turn, but we're not going to be able to finish off the round. We want to just say maybe add 2 Legion Grenadiers and then take the 3 bank into the next turn. Probably don't want to attack with this second one, right? We at least get the rally this way. Might be able to lethal through this. When I'm doing this, I got to check to make sure we get the attack token back, right? You can watch the attack token at the right side, just underneath our mana. Like, you can put the attack forward, highlight the Oracle's Eye, make sure that you're going to get that attack before it happens in. Adding up to 15, not really my strong suit. So you nerds may be a little bit better at math, but I'm certainly not. And so I like to come in and check the Oracle's Eye there. Alright, dude's getting a bunch of units on board. Slightly annoying, but they're all shitty units, so I don't think we have to worry too much there. Our Bard's pretty close to flipping as well, just needs 2 more stats to pop.
A chill in the air.
Yeah, that's annoying. Guess we need to drop the Thorn of the Rose if we want to play the bloody business, right? We need a 5 power strike. Well, any of the units we play are going to get it, but we don't get to pick and choose our blocks for the turn. Maybe we just bring in Legion Grenadier again.
Fuse is lit.
Yeah, Bard noises. Make them Bard noises. You pranking. Alright, we'll take the max bloody business here. Well, I'm trying to think if we want to actually just protect our unit. We'll take an additional 4 points of damage, but we'll be able to get a better rally next turn. Well, our Bard is gonna die? Why is our Bard lit up like that? It's like I'm lining up the bloody business and then Bard just starts highlighting. I don't think he dies here. He shouldn't. He's taking 3 into 8 health. These Grenadiers have mana gems on them? The fuck? That's not normal, right? I don't think we pulled up some like weird skill I wasn't expecting. So we didn't hit any chimes. A bit unfortunate. We're 1 short of the rally this time, right? See, I'm highlighting the Oracle's Eye. No rally marker at the right. We could look to Traveler's Call and just see if we spike. Like, I just don't want Bard to get hit with a Frostbite and then be ineffective completely for the turn. Big set of chimes, though. Okay, let's send. Definitely get our rally now. Not too bad of a block. Okay, okay. Making moves. Stun coming in on Bard. Sad day for him. We haven't played a unit yet this turn, so we might be able to finish off the game still. We could get a big Thorn of the Rose. We can get a challenge with the Affectionate Poro, and then maybe Guile another unit. It's fucking annoying. He knows how Udyr works. Alright, fine, dude. Fine. We do still have a bunch of stats in hand, all those chimes popping off. Whatever, dude. Whatever. Let's make a sad noise, that's all. Guys out here being kind of mean to us. Oh, the Enfeebling Strike's pulled off. I always forget about it. We'll have to remember that. Like, the Death's Hand being kind of a combat trick now, that Bloody Business being kind of a combat trick. We can strike stuff and have our units not die. So, it's gonna be worth remembering. Picking up the powers and then remembering them will be the key to Path of Champions, right? Here's big boy Darius ready to drop the strikes. Boom. Not frostbitten just yet. This is this is the Darius we're getting hyped for. He comes down and kills an Omen Hawk and another 1-power unit. That's right. That's definitely right. That's the Darius we're here to see. Alright, Rip Bard. Darius is still alive. Should be able to finish this off with an open attack next turn. Alright, cool. He doesn't have any units left. Oh shit, he gets a rally? What the fuck? Do we have a rally that he picked up? I don't know. I don't know. Alright, hopefully one of these giant units will be enough to finish. Alright, there's Darius for the vengeance round. Said you made fun of me earlier, but look at what we're about to pull off. Get another just big set of strikes in. Okay. Should be good to go. This doesn't get him the rally will. Okay, okay, not a bad set of battles. Glad we got that Omen Hawk strike in. That's what that's what the people tune in for. That's the big plays that people want to see.
Noxus is proud.
Okay, so what do we get here at the end? A barrier on Iron Ballista is not that bad, and then Hush is a great piece of interactivity. And so it's interesting. Like I kind of like picking up the Iron Ballista just as our deck tends to be very poor at defense, right? So what we typically see is we play, a big unit that has Overwhelm, we trade, but we aren't upset about it because we got to punch in some extra damage. We don't find too many of those combats to where we just win because our units are so big. Now, that's the typical Darius stance. With Bard, it's a touch different since we do pick up some toughness off of the chimes going off, but I really kind of like the defensive nature of this Iron Ballista being able to come down, play defense if we need it to, or just pick up a strong attack and survive, be able to block the next turn. And so I think we can add that in. The Hush is strong, right? There are a lot of battles that are just immediately won on the back of Hush, but let's take this Ballista. I think that's okay. All right, now moving up, we got an item chest. Anybody friendly here? I mean, I guess we can plant chimes on the Crimson Disciple. It's on theme with what the deck does. And Crimson Disciple is kind of one of my preferred turn 2 plays. But maybe we just go with the Poro. Like getting those, in the same vein as the War Chariot, whatever the fuck that guy was called from the previous one, getting to defensively use the Affectionate Poro. Maybe I am on board with that. I do kind of like these turns to where we play just a touch off curve to build up mana for a two mana interactivity, and so I think we'll be okay there. So as far as these battles go, Warden of the Tribes can be a pain. His units are also big. They kill all of ours in combat. Not too worried about the Yetis. That's probably where we'll end up going. And then either way, we'll have to fight the Rot Colossus at the end. And so I think that's how we're going to take it. We'll go into the Yetis at the weak battle, into the Colossus, probably pick up the power at the top before we head into the Draklorn Inquisitor. Alright, not a bad battle. It got me a reminder in there as well that our Bard quick attacking with Enfeebling Strike is pretty decent. So moving forward, these cards are all terrible. Like, I don't hate Mystic Vortex given that it comes with the portal on it, but Decimates are so bad when the opponent has 100 health that I don't want it, and Magical Journey just doesn't replace itself that well. And so the Vortex is a decent value card, I guess, like in the sense that like every turn we want to just play one unit because that's what gets the Nox and Might bonus. We're kind of disincentivized to play 2 units within the same turn. And so maybe we get to play a unit, play a Mystic Vortex, bank a mana, roll into the next turn, and not feel as bad that way. And so we'll snatch that one up. I don't think it's worthy of a reroll. Now we'll dive into battle with the Rot Colossus. Okay, barely got out of that one without dying. The opponent skipped on a lethal, and so take what you can get. As far as these cards go, they all kind of suck. The Profiteer, not horrible, I guess. Picking up Lucky Finds. It's a very big, attacky style of unit. Again, like the things we're really kind of lacking on are the defensive measures here. Maybe we do actually just want this Ye Been Warned, so that we can kind of pick and choose these combats how we want them to go. And so it's not exciting, but I don't think the Profiteer or the Legionary add anything to our deck we don't already have, to where the Ye Been Warned is going to give us a little bit of option in terms of what we do. Now, as we approach the midpoint with the Draklorn Inquisitor, I don't think I want to burn a healer. I think I'm just going to go up to the power, and if we die and have to re-roll, then fine. And if we make our way through this, then great. Now, that might be a little bit dangerous, you know, when the foe is just like popping off these big Overwhelm Frozen Thralls, but I think I'd rather just like take the L on this one and then only have one shot towards the end, as opposed to skipping on the power here. And so let's go in, see if we can't get something good. Not that great. Disarmed is kind of okay, but it's good at like stopping chip damage. It's not good at stopping those like big blast we're going to take out of the boss here. And so let's see if we can't get ourselves something a little bit better, and something a little bit better is what we most certainly found. And so two very powerful ones here. This isn't an explosive entrance style of deck, but round start, refill your spell mana is exceptionally good, and then summoning an ally and granting its keywords to all allies is pretty good as well, especially when we have the likes of the double attack on Bard, and then when we have Challenger Barrier on our War Chariot, whatever the fuck that thing's called. So many more times we can say that today. War Chariot, whatever the fuck that thing is called. What is that? Iron Ballista, War Chariot, right? And so, that's tough. Like, it's just like we struggle to find spaces to play spells because we don't really want to spend the mana, but we're so spell light at this point, and then we even have this garbage like Mystic Vortex that isn't a spell. So that's tough. That's close. I just envision these like gigantic OTKs we can get after we play Bard, because he's so strong with like the Enfeebling Strike. It's so good with both of our champions. If you've been watching the fast forwarded games, having the double strike Bard, the opponent just seems to completely ignore. The AI does not like Enfeebling Strike Quick Attack, and then Darius striking is kind of strong as well. And so I'm going to pick up the Sharing is Caring. I think that double attack on Bard is probably enough to push me kind of over the edge, but I worry that we're going to get to like the end game rounds and be like, cool, it's turn 3, let's play Thorn of the Rose. Now we can't Guile, right? Needing to be able to do both things in the same turn can be a pretty big deal. All right, Sharing is Caring it is. This at least makes for a better highlight reel, right? And so let's move on. The frostbiting Draklorn. I'm curious how this round goes. The Draklorn stuff tends to take up a lot of space, and the Frostcoat Cubs or whatever the thing summons tends to take up a lot of space as well. And so maybe we get to have the opponent freak out with all the competition that their units have. And then can we just win this on turn 4? Turn 3, I guess, we get our Crimson Disciple in. And we get any unit down next turn. And then Bard comes in and double attacks our team a couple of turns from that. Maybe. That's what we gotta hope and dream for, right? I think we want to save the Iron Ballista for 2 turns from now, so we can have a big barrier-based board. I guess he is about to make a fairly large attack. Alright, fine. The fuck?
Let's get a good look at you.
Not what I expected. I'll take it, though. Alright, so the other like big question we'll have is our board big enough now for Bard anyways, right? Like if we play him a little bit later, we'll have more units that we can give double attack to, And I think that with both of our guys having Challenger, this is going to be fine, right? The way we want this turn to go is we're going to play Bard, and then he's going to play Draklorn Inquisitor, and then we're going to quick attack challenge him down, right? I think that that's a very realistic outcome for the turn. He did leave our unit alive here in the middle, but didn't play the Inquisitor.
My turn.
No reason to attack with these, right? Just give me a quick double check and make sure. Okay, so I think we can beat the Inquisitor after this turn, right? If he got the board full of thralls right now, we would be in bad shape. But a couple of turns from now, like I think that we're fine. Want to throw a block in front of this dum-dum. We even have anybody big enough to block him? The Affectionate Poro isn't enough. We're one short on Darius. Well, maybe we are just dead. Oh no, we can just block with Bard. Okay. I was looking at all of our units that weren't Bard as, as our blocks for the turn, and so that works out nice, and we just fucking scout barrier the team. LOL. I'm not I'm not certain if that's where I want my RNG spent, but I'm more than willing to take it.
He smells something.
I'll do it myself.
Let's get this giant scout attack in now. Wow. Wow. Okay. Well, no complaints from me. RNGesus can bring a blessing upon anyone, am I right? So, very well appreciated. Now with this, I think we lost out on an attack. I maybe got a little excited about what was going to happen. I think we probably used the scout attack and our rally for the turn, right? If we attack with everybody, we don't get any more rallies out of this, and so, you know, it's okay. It's okay to have fun. So, let's get Darius down. I think we'll still be able to finish, even if he pops both of these Frozen Thralls. That was why I wanted to make an open attack. Was so if he does get these big Frozen Thralls on board, we at least got one unblocked attack in early. And oof, good stuff. Good job, fam. Way to sneak our way out of that one. I like how that went. That was, the sharing is caring turned out to be way more powerful than the sorcery would have been. At least in that battle. We'll see how it turns out later. But for now, that was pretty good. Okay, anything interesting out of here? These cards are all garbage. I'm leaning towards just taking the Progress Day. Well, maybe we can take Even Warned. Like, I typically don't like Poro Snacks on cards unless we've really designed a deck to be good with Poro Snacks, like having some kind of Summon combo, Poro combo, Von Yip combo. Like, if we don't have stuff like that, I don't typically like it. But we're also not a deck that's just going to like completely fill out the board and then try and play summons, and so maybe it's okay. 4 copies of Even Warned, not really what we're looking for, but try and make the most of it. So now moving forward, there is the Mind Meld. I think that does something with spells, I don't entirely remember, or a gold chest down below. With the battles we would face ahead, what's this? A bunch of formidable stuff. The foe's units have regenerate, set all units power to 0 and grant them formidable. I don't want to play that, right? If our entire thing is getting the +4 attack bonus off of the Nox and Might, then just setting all of our units to formidable, that's going to be a problem. But now I saw the woolly snail moth up here. Like, we're at 2 health, and I'd like to get as far along as we can before we have to burn our revive. And I was worried about the snail moth coming out and just like tapping us with an overwhelm and calling it a day. But like, I think even after a revive, there's a real chance that we don't beat the Bone Scryer. So we'll run into the Mind Meld, go up top to the Snail Moth, and see what happens there. So we get to cut cards from our deck for mana. All right, well, let's burn the 1 health. That's all. That's all we got. Getting that Cosmic Binding out feels okay. I saw it pick up in our opener earlier, and I was like, this is just completely dead draw, and so let's just get it out of the deck. So, all right, on to battle up against the woolly snail moth. Let's see if we can survive at 1. right, moving into the next battle. I didn't realize a free attack snail moth was a thing, and so I got kind of zinged in that last battle. But moving on, I think we'll just take the upgrade to Mystic Vortex, making it only cost 1 mana. Isn't that bad of a deal, and spiking some of these portals has felt pretty good. And so I think we'll add that one in. Ooh, what did I misread here? Oh, we can go to the shop first, or do we want the champion item chest? We want the champion item chest into the shop, right? Battling Ornn shouldn't be that big of a deal. I think Ornn is okay. What did Nivea do? You get the foe starts with 10 gems and we get +1 mana. Flip to Nivea does worry me, given how small the health of our units is, and so let's go into the Ornn round. And so what do we got here? 1 less for each card you've drawn this turn is of course quite good. I'd like to stack that one onto Darius, I think, just get him onto board a little bit earlier. I've been happy enough with this early game curve of anything into our barrier unit into Bard, and so I don't think we need to rush the Bard on board any earlier, right? Passing out that double attack to no units kind of sucks. And so, yeah, let's load up this Darius, get him a little bit cheaper. We do have some card draw in our deck between the Mystic Vortex and then the Bard flip spell, and so it shouldn't be useless in this. And now moving on into the shop, we've got any interesting items? Double stack Darius. I'm interested in both of these, the double stack Darius and the copied Death Hand. The Death's Hand is just kind of like our only interactivity, but it's not that bad with the Enfeebling Strike, and so I think I'm okay with both of those. Moving back out front, though, before we get too crazy. Ooh, the Trapped Treasure on a Preservarium I do like. When I'm summoned, capture the strongest enemy. It's on the Preservarium, though. Never mind. I was like, oh, it's locked into a landmark. That's going to last forever. And that's not the case whatsoever. Okay, so let's skip over all these. They aren't that exciting. We'll take the Black Cleaver onto Darius. We'll pick up the Death's Hand Elixir of Sorcery. Just a little bit of money left, but I'll save these rerolls for something here in the future. And so, on to Ornn. He is the fearsome one. Makes me feel a little bit safer now that we've got some more portals. We've got a little bit of ways to get in front of these fearsomes. Hopefully this isn't so bad. All right, and so let's hang on to the 2. Make sure we have something to play in the early game. Maybe we should have held on to Bard, but he turned right back up. And then we have our curve again. Right, so we've got the Disciple into the Ballista into the Bard.
I'll try anyone once.
Making copies. Alright, no real reason to attack this turn. We don't have any defensive measures, and if we can drop the barrier next turn, things tend to go pretty good, right? We have the good barrier blocks, and then we get to make some quick attack challenger enfeebling strike attacks the next turn, and so I think we're okay. Oh, he just passes. He says, that's too much, bust. Don't zing me that hard. Okay. I think we can fight through this wall of stats. I mean, this double attack nonsense with the enfeebling strikes is quite good. Rot Colossus comes in. That's the scary one, right? Now we do get to attack with our non-bard units and have everything survive, and so that's at least a bit of a perk here. Like, do we want to just take down the big boys first? I think what I'm leaning towards is we'll make an attack like this. We're going to take these 2 smaller units off of the board, and then on our next attack, the only unit that the opponent has that can take down Bard is that Rot Colossus. And so we should be able to challenge the Rot Colossus with our 7/4 just to get it out of combat. That's fine. We're going to lose our unit there. Our 8/3 can challenge the Scout unit. It's going to take it down to 3. Ooh, that's going to be too big. So we'll have to attack the 9/11. And then Bard can survive into the Scout unit. Okay, that's fine. Check the Oracle's Eye. We get our rally. Looks good. Is there something weird with this round I missed? I thought I saw a flashy when I when I saw the attack roll in. Now, interesting here, I forgot about our Fury unit growing a little bit, so we probably want to pivot this over to the 8/3 hooking the Colossus. Oh, just going to straight up kill the Colossus. I appreciate that. We survive this one. We do. And then Bard can attack at the end. Okay. I'm good with that. And we have a fairly reasonable board. This is going to be a good spot to just drop Darius, right? He's going to play some kind of big boy, and then Darius is going to say, well, here comes some enfeebling strikes, you know. He's probably not enough to take down Ornn here, but... oh, he is enough to take down Ornn. Oh, the equipment comes back, and he's fucking massive. Okay, so how's this going to go? We're not dead. Having Scout on Ornn is pretty terrifying. Oh, our Darius is going to double in size, though. So that's at least another perk. Oh, shit, he's leveled up, too. Does he come down as a 20 power? Everybody's flipping. Everybody says, oof. Ooh, hot damn. Hot damn. So it was the Darius only struck with 14 power. Okay.
Let's get a good look at you.
I think we just eat the 19 and then win on the open next turn. I guess we could prevent some. I just worry. Like it's an extra 10 damage. I worry if we just get too crazy next turn if we're gonna just fail. Like I don't know what's in the Ornn deck well enough to know if we have to make this block with Bard. Right, I feel pretty comfortable in like attacking with Darius. He gets a Overwhelm in, then we get to follow up with more units, but if he has any interactivity, we just fail. Fine. I don't know. Give me another month at Path, and I'll have better answers to this kind of thing. Oh shit! There's another one coming in. I guess we did have some blocking to do. I knew in my head that he had Scout, but I let it slip. All right, we'll give up on our Bard. So we can open with Darius. And then hopefully that's enough. Like, I think the opponent typically just, like, plays a unit.
None shall oppose me.
And, like, if he's just playing units, then we should be okay. Ornn is definitely beatable. Okay. Now having a little barrier, I do feel much safer.
Hey, my forge turtle.
Okay.
I've been looking for that for centuries.
Oof.
Our borders
Need a little bit more time. A little bit more time. What do we got here? Deathless Legion Grenadiers are kind of interesting. I'm not opposed to Wild Claws. Like, I like these cards that start in your hand, but I'm just not certain that we'll ever play it. And then there is Armed Acquisitioner. Having access to a way to blow up a landmark isn't terrible either. Maybe we just stack up the Acquisitioner. Now, the other interesting kind of note is we do get to summon a bunch of Legion Grenadiers and then hit with them with Deathless. They're on board just a ton of the time, but like most of the units we have to deal with are Overwhelms, and I don't think they're going to do enough clogging. Let's pick up the Acquisitioner. Now, moving forward, we can either go to the Rekindler. See, let us buy Revives. That's actually tempting as well. Like, I feel like our deck is in pretty good shape. It's just if we get RNGs out of this, we're going to struggle. So let's go to the Rekindler. I think it's Revives. Buy a Revive token for 100 gold. Purchase. Okay. Get us a little bit of help there. And now, up against the Vulnerable round, that's frightening, you know. The Vulnerable round could be kind of hit or miss in terms of what your deck does, and with the kind of small size of our units, like just being crashed through for Overwhelm is a bit frightening, but it's what it is. Let's hang on to Grenadier. I want to make sure we just have a good curve for the round. That landed.
Oh, I can't wait.
All things grow cold.
Does he ever just block this and have the ultra tiny Lissandra?
Foolish child.
It's like the bummer to taking this angle is we won't have that unit for the next combat, right? It would be a pretty reasonable unit to load up with the Challenger and the Overwhelms and everything. Maybe we jumped in just a little bit too quick there. I like it less and less and less as we progress through these turns. But we would also be real close to being fucking dead. Oh god, he just overrode his Lissandra? Wow. Not what I expected to see. Not what I expected to see. Now let's see how this turn goes. We're kind of light on board here. Good time to hit on a portal. So the Iron Ballista doesn't necessarily need the Overwhelm effect. Let's do this. Let's add in Bird. And then we'll just have more units with Barrier Challenger, and we'll try and just kind of like strike away as much of his power as we can. He seems to freak out about his units being reduced down, and I think we might be able to get a little something out of this. Because Draklorn Inquisitors are still going to be fairly big.
It's nothing personal.
And I don't feel as good about this anymore. But right, just try and chunk down all of the Overwhelms. How small does this make these? Because if we do come down and play Darius next turn, he's gonna strike the weakest, which at this point would be... Maybe we do just take the Draklorn Inquisitor off of the board, and then play Darius and have... Oh, our shit has Spell Shield? And then have Darius come in and strike the 2 Inquisitors. We should still be dead at that point, right? But crazier things have happened, I guess. Oh, we get our rally as well. Fuck me. Like the biggest aspect of our deck we just fucking completely forgot. So we'll whoops. We'll whoops.
The bloodier the better.
Let's just weaken all of it, right? We only get to have the 1 unit on board at the end of the day, but look at how shitty all of his stuff is. It's like you don't even really need to play Darius at that point. You can't bring the Watcher down for a while. Curious to what he does. Right, just having all of these 0 power units on board. Now I guess the next scary thing is if he just plays Ice Shard. Right? We do just die to Ice Shard at this point, and so that's, I guess, something that was overlooked. I'm a little bummed about that now. We didn't have too much health left anyways, but we could have taken the Lissandra off the board and KO'd that. Alright. Maybe he'll do something weird, right?
All will fear and love our dark lady. Fear, love.
Nope, he didn't do anything too weird. He just played the Ice Shard and KO'd us, and so yeah, that's on me. I completely let that turn get away from us. I think we should have been able to not necessarily win the game there, but definitely not lose it, and be in a position to win the game in the future. And so that would have definitely been better. Okay, I've learned my lesson. Let's see if we can't do it off this revive. Ooh. Took us all the way up to 45. I thought the Rekindler said that we were only going to get half health.
At last, my time is at hand.
Okay, I'll take it. I planned it that way. That's the way the game was supposed to go, you know? Alright, definitely don't want any of these. We got to find like our chariot bro here in the early game. We'll be a little bit more defensive with our first turn play. Ideally not just trade it away. Have to see if we can't correct some of our mistakes.
Oh,
Not a good start though. None of the units we want, no Bard, none of that other guy. Alright. we'll wait on the Lissandra. Maybe we get to pick something up. Came down fast. So how do we want to go about this? I had in my head that I was going to play the Mystic Vortex. Does that draws a card next turn, right? It just like a 1-turn delay. Countdown 2. Okay, and so it's like I want to come in and try and time everything to work with our Darius. And it's very interesting as we come in and say, like, draw this Trifarian Assessor, since we're going to draw 2 off of it. But our mana is like a bit of a shit show this round. We're about to get completely nugged here. I think we're probably stuck just dropping the Legion Grenadier on this round. And then maybe we can pop off 2 turns from now, right? If we get to, say, land the card draw on the Vortex, play the Trifarian Assessor, and then get to play Darius for free. That might be feasible, but I guess the big question is, like, are we just dead if that happens? We are at 45. Let's take that. Let's take that angle. Also, I'm not certain how crazy he is about attacking into these enfeebled units. I guess he just answered the question for us, so we take the full amount. He takes his Lissandra down to 0 power. Last time he overrode her, and so let's see if that's a thing here. Gotta get on board this turn, though. I think that's actually okay. He's got 27 enthralls at the moment. Is he just going to open on us? It's like our Trifarian Assessor is going to have vulnerable anyways. Like, I think we have to roll into this next turn and hope that he just starts doing dumb stuff, so that we can play the Assessor and then have a unit that we can bloody business with. Like, it was just not going to do anything on that turn. Trundle's kind of scary. I'd normally be happy to see a Trundle, but, well, maybe it wasn't the end of the world. Do we have to just lead in with Darius now? He's going to strike down Trundle and the Harbinger, and then we can maybe hit a Frostguard Thrall. I was really hoping to get to play him for free, but, like, we don't have any units, right? Let's be real. We're not playing Darius for free here. We might be able to... Oh, that sucks so much. I was going to say, we might be able to at least pull in some blockers here as well. Nope, just dead. Alright. Poor Darius. Damn. So that one was a bit rough as well. Like, the first game, I feel like we definitely punted because I didn't realize we were about to make a rally. Like, just completely forgot Darius's core ability, and so that was a bit of a pain point. Like, I'm not certain if we'd have been able to win that game, but it definitely wasn't like a game you lose that you can't recover from, right? There's a real distinction in playing to win a game and playing to not lose a game. And this isn't one of those spaces to where we were playing that game to not lose it, right? We're just dragging it on so the game plays longer, not enhancing our chances to win. Like, we could have played that game to not die to Lissandra on the follow-up turn and still been in, like, a reasonable position. So I think that was a place to where we kind of missed out on things. But that second game was, like, just the real deck building pain point. We got these, like, copies of Yeeb and Warned within our deck, and it was not good. Like, just seeing that game end with 2 copies of Yeeb and Warned in our hand was just kind of shitty space to be in. Now, also in that game, we didn't draw any of our War Chariots, and we didn't draw any of our Bards, which kind of sucks as well, but just like having these turds within our deck was an issue there, especially as you get to the end and we're like, well, you still have 2 rerolls. You could have rerolled some of that nonsense away, so we didn't really spend all of our resources. But nonetheless, I think that was a fairly good intro to Darius here. It's a bit of a bummer for Darius since we lost on both Aurelian Soul and we lost on Lissandra, but I feel like we've covered off on some pretty good strategies for Darius, some things to pay attention to, some nice deck building avenues that you're able to take. and hopefully that helps you get to the top of the mountain on your own. And so, good stuff. I had fun with that. I hope you did too, because that is going to do it for us today. So if everyone enjoyed the video, hope you maybe learned a thing or two along the way, you had a good time watching it. This is Bustamie. Thank you for being here.